All right, welcome back to the annotation demonstration. Now we're going to be looking at the pragmatic domain. So the pragmatic domain, as part of the meaning dimension, is to assess the different areas of pragmatics in which the gesture is functioning. Now, in this annotation demonstration, we're really going to be focusing on just the domain, and we're not going to be really focusing on these other tiers, such as the pragmatic function. We also have some other things like the pragmatic articulator, pragmatic strength. These we won't touch on in this demonstration, but feel free to read more about it in the M3D labeling manual. So we'll be focusing on the pragmatic domain. As you can see, I have a parent tier here, says pragmatic domain, and then a second one here, pragmatic domain 2. So within the ELAN template, you automatically get two of these pragmatic domain tier sets, let's say. And this is because, as we say in the manual, right, as M3D holds, that basically a single gesture can have multiple pragmatic functions. So this allows us to capture these multiple pragmatic functions. Additionally, we see that we have a tier here for utterance in words. So when we're annotating the pragmatic domain, we annotate with the audio and with the transcript available, because we obviously want to use the context of speech in order to help us try and understand exactly what the function of the gesture may be. As we mentioned in the labeling manual, this area of assessing pragmatics is probably the most novel aspect of M3D in terms of a lot of previous research has really gone out and listed different pragmatic functions, but not very many researchers have really tried to group them and categorize them. We do have some work that has attempted to do so, and this work is largely inspired by these researchers. So researchers like Kendon and Lopez Ozieblo. So this sort of stuff is sort of based on this, but we're just going to have a quick look about how to annotate the pragmatic domain and just some of the different categories that we have within this clip. So we'll go ahead and get started. The first step to remember is just like the semantic, the gesture referentiality, and just like the beat likeness, we annotate the pragmatic domain over the duration of the stroke. So you can take whatever, either your stroke tier here or any of these other previously labeled annotations that span the stroke, and then we're going to write our pragmatic domain within that span. So for the first one, we have, I'll play the whole clip for you. Now, sometimes in order to assess the pragmatic function of the gesture, we have to really go back and see what the context is, not just immediately preceding the gesture or during the gesture, but even entire utterances beforehand. So in this case, I know that the speaker is talking about geoengineering and some of the issues with it. So I'll go ahead and start from the very beginning so we can get a little bit more context, and then we'll start assessing the pragmatic function of this first gesture. So we'll only focus on the first gesture, but it helps to have context both before and after the gesture. So I'm going to play this entire clip here.
So because of this, we could deal with the problem simply by stopping reducing emissions, and just as the concentrations go up.
Right, so we didn't have that first gesture unit that we saw some gestures and that weren't annotated there. Like I said, we're just going to look at this with stopping, right? So we're just listening to the first part for context, and I'll play it one more time.
So because of this, we could deal with the problem simply by stopping reducing emissions, and just as the concentrations go up.
So he's talking about some alternative thing that they could do, right? And he says stopping, and when he does stopping, he does this gesture.
Stopping.
So for me,
by stopping.
The first pragmatic domain that comes to mind for me is operation. So I would highlight that span, come down, and you have operation, which is basically in reference to affirmation and negation. And we can argue that this sort of gesture is sort of a negating gesture, right? It's no longer doing something negating, so stopping, operational. And then also, as we mentioned, right, some gestures can have multiple functions. And later he even says, no, I didn't go all the way there, but he says, and I don't think anybody takes that seriously.
I don't think anybody takes that seriously.
So we'll come back and look at this gesture in a minute, but given this context, it seems to be that this gesture here is also giving a little bit of his stance about how he feels, how he evaluates this sort of position. He says, by stopping the reduced CO2 as concentrations go up.
By stopping reducing emissions, and just as concentrations go up.
Says simply stopping, right? It seems like he sort of feels like it's obviously not a very good idea, even with his head, the head movements. It's sort of, in addition to negation, I feel like it's really sort of a stance-y gesture, let's say. So I'll go ahead and mark stance here. So I'll again highlight that stroke, come down and highlight stance for positioning and evaluation. So again, I said I wasn't really going to talk about the function, but of course, if we wanted to, we could come down and put functions within these sub-tiers. So within operation, for example, I could put something like negation or something like this. And the important thing to remember here is that these child tiers do not have controlled vocabularies. So while we did establish one of these pragmatic domains that we're working within, the different functions within those domains do not have a controlled vocabulary. So you as a labeler have to be very, very careful in terms of when you're typing, either develop a short code with 1 or 2 letters, or ensure that you're typing exactly the same each and every time. Because otherwise, if you have any sort of misspelling or anything like this, then this could lead to issues later on when you are processing the data. Okay, so we have the first gesture done. We identified 2 pragmatic domains, operation and stance. Now we can go on to the next set of gestures. So I'll scroll over here. Give you, again, we'll play it again so you can get the context.
Reducing emissions, and just as concentrations go up, we can increase the amount of geoengineering. I don't think anybody takes that seriously.
Okay, so if we really stop and look at these first 2, he says, just as concentrations go up, we can increase the amount of CO2.
And just as concentrations go up, we can increase the amount of geoengineering.
So these are clearly referential gestures. Again, this is a really nice example because it shows how referential gestures can also be pragmatic in a sense. So these referential gestures here, they're illustrating are the concentrations going up and then increasing the amount of CO2, of geoengineering, sorry. So basically what this is doing is this is also marking the discourse itself, right? So it's illustrating sort of what's happening here, the alternative, right? What can be done. So for me, whenever I see these gestures, for me, it's really marking the focus of the sentence, which is information structure. So the pragmatic domain would be discourse information or discourse organization. So again, I highlight that gesture stroke, I create a new annotation, and then I choose discourse organization. And again, here, the same thing. It's another gesture that is showing the discourse organization, really marking the focus of discourse. And focus is really referring to what the sentence is, or the information in the sentence that is really pushing discourse forward. Taking Götze, for example, and his approach to information structure. So again, underneath in pragmatic function, if we wanted to, we could put something like focus or information structure focus or something like this. Again, this is up to the labeler, how they decide to categorize the different functions. Again, just being aware of spelling and things like that. Okay, we can move on and look at the next gesture where he says, I don't think anybody takes that seriously.
I don't think anybody takes that seriously. I don't think anybody takes that seriously.
So the way he's describing the sentence and doing the gesture, for me, there are 2 sort of domains, pragmatic domains that really come forward. The first one being the strongest, probably a stance. So I'll make sure that pragmatic domain here is highlighted. I'll take this here, create a new annotation. Stance, he seems to really be showing, through his gesture, he's really showing how he evaluates this approach, let's say. Another one could be, again, discourse. He's talking about, I don't think anybody takes that seriously. So he's talking about a referent in discourse, right? Other scientists and things like this. So we can talk about discourse organization here, but probably fairly weakly. Another pragmatic domain that we could argue is here as well would be operationalism, or operational marking, sorry. So he says, I don't think anybody would take that seriously. So it's sort of a negation of any person. There's nobody that would take it seriously, right? So we could add a third pragmatic function here, a pragmatic domain. Now, as I said earlier, in the template, you only have two, but it's very easy if you want to add a third one. You just make sure your pragmatic domain 2 is highlighted. You come up to tier and copy tier. Then you can select in here your pragmatic domain or pragmatic domain 2, however you prefer. I will do 2. Copy depending tiers as well. And then next, and then next, and then finish. And what it does is it just copies those tiers, all of the child tiers, and also the annotations. So if you have other annotations on this tier, then you'll want to get rid of them. And I'll show you how to do that now. So here I have the pragmatic domain, and here I have the copy. And you see here I have discourse. You can also see those earlier tiers. What you want to do at this point is just highlight this tier. Make sure that your cursor is next to the one that you're going to want to keep. But what we can do is then go to annotation, delete, annotations on active tier to the left of the crosshair. So if we do this, it deletes everything that we had before because this is the first time we have something in that third with 3 multiple pragmatic functions. And then eventually we'll also want to come in here, right click, you can rename the tier. So you just say change attributes of, we'll remove this copy and just add an extra capital space I, Roman numeral 3 here, change. And there you have it. Then you'll want to eventually do that for all of these child tiers as well, but I'm not going to do that here for time's sake. Then I'm going to come here, highlight that annotation, and change it to operation. So here we now have 3 different possible pragmatic functions for the single gesture: stance, discourse marking, and operation.
I don't think anybody takes that seriously.
Great. Now, again, we have these 3, just a very quick note. We could argue, like we were saying, it's kind of weakly marking discourse, probably more so stance and operation. For me, stance is probably the strongest that comes through. And so this is where we could mark this pragmatic strength tier. We could highlight that. And then I would say this one is probably medium. And this one here is weak, et cetera, et cetera. And then we can sort of rank the different pragmatic domains that we see. We can rank them in order of how strong or weak they are. And that way, later on, whenever you are doing your post-annotation analyses, you can sort of filter out and choose the strongest ones or something like this, see which ones come through the strongest, et cetera. All right, moving on to the next gesture. Here he says, because under the scenario, we walk away further and further from the climate change goals, I believe he says. Let's see.
Because under this scenario, we walk further and further away from the current climate.
From the current climate, exactly. So one more time.
Because under this scenario, we walk further and further away from the current climate.
It says, so under this scenario, for me, this is marking the discourse structure again. So not necessarily information structure, but really the structure of the discourse. Highlighting the structure of the discourse. So under this scenario, he says we walk further and further away.
Walk further and further.
Again, this is sort of focus marking, so the information part of the discourse organization. And then you can see these 3 here.
You have all sorts of other problems like ocean acidification that come from CO2 in the atmosphere anyway.
All right, so this one's very interesting because it's a lot of discourse organization again, in terms of discourse structure. So the first one, he's about to list a bunch of examples. He says we have all sorts of other problems.
You have all sorts of other problems like...
So it's like he's showing the other problems almost with his gesture. So we'll go with discourse organization. And then the next 2 are examples of those problems.
Ocean acidification that come from CO2 in the atmosphere anyway.
So here we can, again, discourse organization, discourse organization. And in the M3D labeling manual, we do have some specific subfunctions. So we could say this would be like the listing function, for example. So we could include that here. if we wanted to go into that detail. All right, we keep on going. So he says, nobody, but maybe one or two very odd folks really suggest this.
Nobody, but maybe one or two very odd folks really suggest this.
So when he says this first one,
nobody.
For me, the first pragmatic domain that pops up would be operation, right? Nobody, he's talking about negation.
Nobody.
We could argue that maybe there's a little bit of discourse organization there, but for me, I really see operation happening.
Maybe one or two.
Except here, definitely.
Maybe one or two very.
Maybe one or two. And here he is marking discourse reference, right? One or two very odd folks. He says maybe one or two, right? So we could argue that this is also stance happening here, because stance can also include things like approximation, certainty, and things like this. So he says, but maybe one or two, and he's really marking that sort of stance that it's probably very few people, and it's his evaluation, right? So we could argue that that's a stance marking gesture as well.
Folks really suggest.
Then he says, really suggest this, and he makes this non-referential gesture, very, very beat-like, right? So here, what I would mark this as is, again, stance, because he's saying that these one or two odd folks really suggest this. So he is commenting on their stance that they would have taking this approach. So I would mark this, again, as stance. And then finally,
here's a case which is harder to reject.
Here's a case which is harder to reject.
Here's a case which is harder to reject.
So I think this one, again, we see very clearly a stance taking function of this gesture, because he's talking about a case which is harder to reject. He's giving his own position towards this, this stance, this case, right? He's giving his own positioning in this case. And it's a case which is harder to reject. We could also argue that this is a bit of discourse organization going on as well. So that's pretty much it in terms of annotating the pragmatic domain. You see, it's fairly easy. It's just a matter of looking at the strokes and taking in the wider context of discourse to try and understand sort of what the function of the gesture is happening. And this is something that's different from whether a gesture is referential or not. It's also fairly subjective. So this is probably the area, again, where people working within pragmatics, they want to make sure that they're really clear on the different functions and sort of how to delimit different functions, testing for things like reliability. We have tested reliability for the level of the pragmatic domain, and we have managed to get good reliability for that. But of course, this is still a very, very subjective sort of endeavor. So it takes quite a bit of work, but I think that that we can go ahead and stop here, and you can move on to practicing on your own. Thank you very much.